कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। बोलो श्री राधे गुरुकानंद भगवान की जय।
जय
बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
जय।
हरे कृष्णा अनिल जी।
हरे कृष्णा।
कृष्णा। आज सब कहाँ पता नहीं लॉन्ग वीकेंड के चक्कर है। लॉन्ग वीकेंड है ना ये वाला।
हाँ, 4 जुलाई आने वाला है या बच्चों की भी छुट्टी होंगी, जिनके छोटे बच्चे हैं तो
तब क्या
प्रोग्राम बना रहे होंगे।
वही
हम्म,
जब वक्त मिलता है लोग घूमने निकल जाते हैं। सही है कोई नहीं शुरू करते हैं अपन।
जी हाँ।
तो हम लोगों ने भ्रमर गीत पढ़ना शुरू किया है। एंड भ्रमर गीत में जब गोपियां उद्धव जी से वार्तालाप कर रही है तो उस समय एक भंवरा एक प्रविष्ट गोपी के सामने आता है और गोपी को राधा रानी का मेंशन श्रीमद् भागवतम में नहीं है बट बाकी अग्नि पुराण वगैरह में बताया गया है कि वो गोपी राधे रानी होती है। जो भंवरे से वार्तालाप कर रही है भंवरे के थ्रू कृष्ण भगवान से वार्तालाप कर रही है और उद्धव जी को बता रही है। और वही हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं।
जी हाँ।
10 श्लोक है इसमें।
जी
12वां
हाँ।
हमने पढ़ा है ये
हाँ
दूसरा
जी
श्लोक।
हाँ। सक्रदधर सुधाम स्वाम मोहिनी पाययित्वा सुमनस इव सद्यस्तत्यजेस्मान भवाद्रक परिचरित परिचरति कथम तत्पाद पद्मं न नु पद्मा ह्यापि बत हृतचेता हितमः श्लोक जल्पैः। After making us drink the enchanting nectar of his lips only once, Krishna suddenly abandoned us, just as you might quickly abandon some flowers. How is it then that Goddess Padma willingly serves his lotus feet? Alas, the answer must certainly be that her mind has been stolen away by his deceitful words. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा। सो राधे रानी बोल रही है कि हाउ इट इज ही हैज ऑल द डिसीटफुल वर्ड्स एंड गोडेस पद्मा राइट सेज परिचरित कथम तत् पाद पदम नु पद्मा like goddess Padma is willingly serving the lotus feet of the Lord. How is that possible? Must be Uttam Shloka Jalpe hai. Must be his false speech has attracted uh, the deceit words has attracted goddess Padma. Is how she is reacting to this. पढ़िए नहीं।
In this verse, Srimati Radharani continues to compare Sri Krishna to the bumblebee. And in her distress, she states that the reason the goddess of fortune is constantly devoted to his lotus feet must be that she has been fooled by Krishna's promises. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, this statement of Srimati Radharani's illustrates Parijalpa as described in Sri Ujjwala Nilmani 14.184. Prabhor Nidyata Sathya Chapalyadhyai Upadandat swa vichasang sanatan vyaktir vangya syat parijalpitam. Parijalp is that speech which, through various devices, shows one's own cleverness by exposing the merciless, duplicity, unreliability, and so on of one's Lord. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा. सो इसमें बताया कि 10 भाव है जो राधा रानी व्यक्त कर रही है. पहला भाव हमने पढ़ा. दूसरा भाव बोले परिजल्प कहते हैं इसे. Yeah, says that Parijalp is that speech which through various devices shows one's own cleverness by exposing the mercilessness. So जैसे इसमें कृष्ण भगवान को राधा रानी बता रही है, जैसे goddess Padma is so attracted because of his deceitful words, and that bhav is called as Parijalp, is what Radha Rani is expressing. किमिह बहुशतङ्ग्रे गायसि त्वं यदुना मधिपतिं गृहाणामग्रतो न पुराणम् विजयसखसखीनां गियतां तत्प्रसङ्गः क्षपितकुचरुजस्ते कल्पयन्तिष्ठमिष्टाः. Oh B, why do you sing here so much about the Lord of the Yadus in front of us homeless people? These topics are old news to us. Better you sing about the friend of Arjun in front of his new girlfriends, the burning desire in whose breast as he has now relieved. Those ladies will surely give you the charity you are begging. And so she's talking to through the Bhamra. She's saying, don't sing those things. We already know about his stuff. We already know Agrato na Puranam already, and you better sing with the ladies who are in Mathura, and those ladies will give you the charity you are begging, is what she is saying. In a nice purport, let's read this.
With the words Agrahanam Agrato Naha, Radharani laments that even though she and the other gopis gave up their homes to love Krishna in a conjugal relationship, the Lord left them and became a prince in the great royal city of the Yadus. Besides meaning Arjuna, the victor, the word Vijay also directly indicates Sri Krishna, who is always victorious in his endeavors. And besides meaning old, news, the word Puranam also indicates that Sri Krishna is glorified in the ancient Vedic scriptures of that name. In this verse, we observe in Radharani's mood the seed of jealous anger, which arises from an apparent disdain for Krishna, accompanied by a sarcastic sidelong glance directed towards him. Thus, this verse fits the following description of Vijalpa from the Ujjvala Nilamani 14.186. Vyaktaya suyavya gudha mana mudran tardalaya agha dvisi kata ksharak saktir Vijalpo Vidusam Mataha. According to learned authorities, Vijalp is sarcastic speech that is addressed to the killer of Agh and that openly expresses jealousy while at the same time hinting at one's angry pride. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So the next bhav expressed is result. And these things are also described in Ujjwal Nilmani. Right? कल हम लोग जो बात कर रहे थे उज्जवल नीलमणि which is written by, याद है कल हम लोग
One of the Saptarishis.
one of the 6 Goswamis.
Yeah.
Goswamis, and that is Sri Rup Goswami.
Rup Goswami, okay.
Sri Rup Goswami has written this, and other. So Rup Goswami wrote Ujjwal Nilmani, and the other 5 Goswamis are. So we have the Sri Rup Goswami, we have Sri Sanatan Goswami, then Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jeev Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Yeah. So we have those 6 Goswamis. Hare Krishna, Nisha.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. And the Ujjwal Nilamani is written by Rup Goswami. And those 6 Goswamis were initiated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are the 6 Goswamis. So we'll read the next one. So we are reading the Bhramar Geet. And this is the 4th shlok. There are 10 shloks in the Bhramar Geet. This is the 4th shlok, Nisha.
दिवि भुवि च रसायां काः स्त्रियस्तदुरूपाः कपटरुचिर हासभ्रु वृजुम्भस्य याः स्युः चरणरज उपास्ते यस्य वयं का अपि च कृपणपक्षे रिक्तं ह उत्तमः श्लोकशब्दः. In heaven, on earth, or in the subterranean sphere, but women are unavailable to him. He simply arches his eyebrows and smiles with deceptive charm, and they all become his. The Supreme Goddess herself worships the dust of his feet. So, what is our position in comparison? But at least those who are wretched can chant his name, Uttama Shloka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? And that Vishishta Gopi, which is none other than Radharani, is talking to the Bhamra, right? The bee. And she's saying, she's of course imagining Lord Shri Krishna. And she's saying that, of course, for Lord Shri Krishna, Divi, like the heaven, Bhuvi, Rasayam ka Striyasta Durapa hai. Like there's nothing impossible for him, right, to get any uh, any woman he desires. And how does he get it? He said, Kapat Ruchi Has, like just by Kapat, right, making her eyes oblique, and he wins their hearts. And then what she's saying is Charan Raj Upaste Yash Bhutir Vayamka. Bhuti is the goddess Lakshmi, and she, Charan Raj, yeah, she does the prayers of his Charan, right? And then she's saying that Apicha Kripana Paksheri Uttam Shloka Shabda. At least Vayamka means who are we? Like even the goddess Lakshmi is glorifying his Charan. And of course, there are people who are at least getting some benefits, yeah, who can chant his name, Uttam Shlok. Yeah, using the Uttam Shlok, his names are chanted. And she is saying, what is our position in comparison? So basically, she's saying that it's okay if we got attracted to Lord Shri Krishna, because even the Supreme Goddess herself worships the dust of his lotus feet. So who are we in comparison, right? Is what is mentioned. Yeah. Finally.
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti states that Radharani's speech, expressing all the feelings of a disappointed lover, indicates an intensity of love for Sri Krishna surpassing even that of the goddess of fortune. While all the gopis are perfectly compatible with Sri Krishna in terms of their beauty, temperament, and so on, Srimati Radharani is especially so. In her forlorn state, Radharani indicates to Krishna, "You are called Uttama Shloka because you are merciful to the wretched and fallen. But if you would be merciful to me, then you would actually deserve this exalted name." Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti further points out that in this verse, Srimati Radharani expresses her spite born of pride, accuses Krishna of being a cheater, and finds fault with his behavior. Thus, this verse contains a speech known as Ujalpa, as described in the following verse of the Ujjala Nilomani 14.188. Hare Kuhak Katakshya Nam Garv Garbhitya Varsyaya Sasuyasa Cha Tad Akshipo Dhirair Ujjalpa Irayate. The declaration of Lord Hari's duplicitous nature in a mood of spite born of pride, together with jealousy spoken insults directed against him, has been termed Ujjalpa by the wise. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So as we see, like the 10 bhavs of Radharani, which she is expressing, right? And we can see from Ujjwal Nilamani, like this shlok, which she is speaking, represents the Ujjwal mood. Yeah. Visrijashirshipādam vedamyaham chatukare ranunay vidushyaste bhetya doye mukundadata swakritaiha vrishishta patya patyanyaloka vyasrijad krita chetaha kim nu sandeyamashmin. Keep your head off my feet. I know what you are doing. You expertly learned diplomacy from Mukund, and now you come as his messenger with flattering words. But he abandoned those who, for his sake, alone gave up their children, husbands, and all their relations. He is simply ungrateful. Why should I make up with him now? So she is telling to Uddhavji, yeah, like, don't touch my feet. He tries to do the pranam, right? He says, don't touch my feet. You are nothing but the messenger of Mukund who has actually left us, even though we left everything. Patyapatanya loka, we left everything for him. So why should I now sandeh asmin? Why should I now even think about making up for him? Is what Radharani is saying. Nisha?
According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, this verse illustrates the qualities of Sanjalpa, as described by Srila Rupa Goswami in the following verse of his Ujjwal Nilamani 14.190. Solanthya Gahanaya Kayepe Akshepa Mudraya Tasyakrata Jantade Uktiha Sanjalpaha Kotito Budhai. The learned described Sanjalp as the speech which decries with deep irony and insulting gestures the beloved's ungrateful, and so on. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti points out that the word Adi and so on implies the perception in one's lover of hardness, of inimical attitude, and of a complete lack of love. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Radharani keeps describing that, and this mood is called Sanjalp. Yeah, so there are 10 bhavs, one of that is Sanjalp. Yeah. Anilji?
Mragayuriva kapindram vivyadhe lubdha dharmaha striyamakrat rupam strijita kamayanam balimapi balimatva veshtayad dvang akshavad yasta dharamasi tasakhair dustasya jastas tatkathartha. Like a hunter, he cruelly shot the king of the monkeys with arrows. Because he was conquered by a woman, he disfigured another woman who came to him with lusty desires. And even after consuming the gifts of Bali Maharaj, he bound him up with ropes as if he were a crow. So let us give up all friendship with this dark complexioned boy, even if we cannot give up talking about him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Radharani is further telling to this bird, I is like a hunter. He cruelly shot the king of monkeys, right? So she is referring to, like in the previous, as a Lord Ramchandra, he killed Bali, right? That's what she is referring to. And then because he was conquered by women, she is referring to Surpanka. And then Bali Maharaj, he says ki Bali Maharaj gave everything and he still tied him up. So give up all the friendship and give up all the friendship, and even if we can give up talking about him. See, so we cannot stop talking about him. Yeah. Yast dalam sarkit shakke dur shad jastat yathartah. And says Vog Shwada Yast dal. Basically, we cannot stop talking about him, but let's give up all the friendship, is what Radharani is saying. Yeah. So read this. Nisha?
In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada explains the meaning of the verse as follows. Srimati Radharani said to the bee, "You poor messenger, you are only a less intelligent servant. You do not know much about Krishna, how ungrateful and hard-hearted he has been, not only in the life but his previous life also. We have all heard this from our grandmother Purnamasi. He has informed us Krishna was born in Kshatriya family previous to this birth and was known as Ramchandra. In that birth, instead of killing Vali, an enemy of his friend, in the manner of Kshatriya, he killed him just like a hunter. A hunter takes a secure hiding place and then kills an animal without facing it. So Lord Ramchandra, as Kshatriya, should have fought with Vali face to face. But instigated by his friend, he killed him from behind a tree. Thus, he deviated from the religious principles of Kshatriya. Also, he was so attracted by the beauty of Sita that he converted uh, Surpanka, the sister of Ravana, into an ugly woman by cutting off her nose and ears. Surpanka proposed an intimate relationship with him, and as a Kshatriya, he should have satisfied her. Hare Krishna.
But he was so henpecked that he could not force Sita Devi and converted Surpanaka into an ugly woman. Before that birth as a Kshatriya, he took birth as a Brahmana boy known as Vamanadev and asked charity from Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was so magnanimous that he gave him whatever he had, yet Krishna as Vamanadev ungratefully arrested him just like a crow and pushed him down to the Patal kingdom. We know all about Krishna and how ungrateful he is. But here is the difficulty. In spite of his being so cruel and hard-hearted, it is very difficult for us to give up talking about him. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti points out that this speech of Radharani is called Abhajalpa, as described by Rupa Goswami in the following verse from the Ujjvala Nilamani 14.192. Harau Harau Kathinya Kamitva Dhautad Asti Ayogyata Yatra Sarasya Bhiye Kokita So Bajalpaha Satam Matah. Saintly persons have concluded that when a lover, impelled by jealousy and fear, declares that Lord Hari is unworthy of our attachment because of his harshness, lustiness, and dishonesty, such speech is called Avajalpa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so we are reading like how Rup Goswami in Ujjwal Nilamani described all these 10 different shloks, right? In like different modes. This one is Ujjwalpa. यदनुचरित लीला कर्ण पीयूष विप्रूट सकृदन विधूतन द्वंद्व धर्मा विनष्ट सपदि गृह कुटुंबम दीनमृत सृज्य दीना बहवैय विहंगा भिक्षुचर्या चरन्ति. To hear about the pastimes that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears. For those who relish just a single drop of that nectar, even once, their dedication to material duality is ruined. Many such persons have suddenly given up their raised homes and families, and themselves becoming raised, traveled here to Vrindavan to wander about like birds, begging for their living. Yeah. So what she's saying is anyone hearing pastimes of Krishna is like nectars to the ears. Yeah. Says Anucharit Leela Karn hearing Piyus Vipruta is like Amrit. Yeah, so his Leela is Amrit, and many people, like we see so many Rishimunis even today in Vrindavan, they say Sapadi Griha Kutumba, Dina Mrityu Srijya Dina. They give up everything and then they are in Vrindavan, Bhikshu Charyas Charanti, right? They love Sri Krishna so much that they are traveling to Vrindavan to wander about like birds, begging for their living, yeah, because they want to hear the pastimes of the Krishna, is what she is saying. Nisha?
Material duality is based on falsely thinking, this is mine and that is yours, or this is our country and that is yours, or this is my family and that is yours, and so on. In fact, there is one absolute truth in which we all exist and to whom everything belongs. His beauty and pleasure are also absolute and infinite, and if one actually hears about the absolute truth called Krishna, one's dedication to the illusion of mundane duality is spoiled. According to the Acharyas, and certainly in accord with Sanskrit grammar, the last two words of the second line of this text may also be divided dharma avinastah. Then the entire line becomes part of a single compound, the meaning of which is that hearing about Krishna cleanses one of irreligious duality, and thus one is not vanquished avinashta by material illusion. The word dinaha is then given the alternate reading of dhiraha, meaning that one becomes spiritually sober and thus gives up attachment to fleeting material relationships. The word vihangaha, birds, would in this case refers to swans, the symbol of essential discrimination. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti quotes Rupa Goswami as follows in connection with the verse. Bhangyah त्यगौचिति तस्य खांगनम अपि खेदांत यात्रा सनुसयम प्रोक्ता तद भावेद अभिजल्पितम. When a lover indirectly states with remorse that her beloved is fit to be given up, such speech uttered like the plaintive crying of a bird is called abhijalp. Ujjwal Nilamani 14.194. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So you can see what is mentioned is if one actually hears about this absolute truth, right? What is the absolute truth? There is only one absolute truth in which we all exist and to whom everything belongs. His beauty and pleasure are also absolute and infinite, right? The one absolute truth is Lord Shri Krishna. And say that if one actually hears about this absolute truth called Krishna, one's dedication to the illusion of mundane duality is spoiled. Illusion of mundane duality is the materialistic world, right? Thinking that we are this body and then we are surrounded by all this Kam, Krodh, Madlobh and all that gets spoiled. How? By just hearing about Lord Shri Krishna is what is mentioned, right? And again, this bhav is known as Abhijalp, as we are seeing that 10 different bhavs which are expressed by Radharani while talking about remembering Lord Shri Krishna. वयमर्तमेव जिहाव्यारितं श्रद्धाना है कुलिकरुतमिवाज्ञा है कृष्णवऊधो हरिण्य है ददुषुर सकृदे तन्न खस्पर्श तीव्र स्मर रोज उपमंत्रिण भन्यता मन्यवार्ता faithfully taking his deceitful words as true, we became just like the black deer's foolish wives, whose trust the cruel hunters saw. Thus, we repeatedly felt the sharp pain of lust caused by the touch of his nails. O messenger, please talk about something besides Krishna. Yeah, so Uddhavji comes and is talking about Lord Shri Krishna. Gopis are saying, talk about something else. He has really deceived us. Yeah, Krishna Vadho Harinya. And he's saying like Bhanyata Anyavarta, like talk about something else. Yeah, Anilji?
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti categorizes this statement of Srimati Radharani's as ajalp, as defined by Srila Rupa Goswami. Jai mayam tasyati dattvam cha nirvedad yatra kirtanam krititam bhangya na sukh dattvam cha sa ajalpa udirtoh. A statement spoken in disgust, describing how the male lover is deceitful and thinks and brings one misery, and also implying that he gives happiness to others, is known as ajalp. Ujjvala Nilamani 14.196. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nisha?
प्रिय सख पुनरागाः प्रेयसा प्रेषितः किं वरय किमन नुरुन्धे माननीयोऽसि मेङ्क नयसि कथमिहास्मान् दुस्त्यजद्वन्द्वपार्श्वं सततमूर्षि सौम्य श्रीर्वधूः साकमास्ते. O friend of my dear one, has my beloved sent you here again? I should honor you, friend, so please choose whatever boon you wish. But why have you come back here to take us to him whose conjugal love is so difficult to give up? After all, gentle bee, his consort is the goddess Sri, and she is always with him, staying upon his chest. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so it's about talking to Uddhavji. Why have you come here? She is Satata Murshi Soumya Shri Vadhuva Sakamaste. That is, Goddess Lakshmi is the one who is always his consort. She is always with him, staying upon his chest, right? Sri Vats. As you see, Tirupati Balaji also, when you see on the chest, it's Goddess Lakshmi. And so she is saying, I should honor you. Whatever boon you want to wish, I'll give you, but why have you come back here to take us? It's very difficult to give up his memories, is what he's saying. Anilji?
In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada explains the context of this verse. While Radharani was talking with the bee and the bee was flying hither and thither, it all of a sudden disappeared from her sight. She was in full mourning due to separation from Krishna and felt ecstasy by talking with the bee. But as soon as the bee disappeared, she became almost mad, thinking that the messenger bee might have returned to Krishna to inform him all about her talking against him. Krishna must be very sorry to hear it, she thought, in the way she was overwhelmed by another type of ecstasy. In the meantime, the bee, flying hither and thither, appeared before her again. She thought, Krishna is still kind to me. In spite of the messengers carrying disruptive messages, he is so kind that he has again sent the bee to take me to him. Srimati Radharani was careful this time not to say anything against Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that the goddess of fortune, Shri, has the power to assume many different forms. Thus, when Krishna enjoys other women, she stays on his chest in the form of a golden lion. When he is not consorting with other women, she puts aside this form and gives him pleasure in her naturally beautiful form of a young woman. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, this statement of Srimati Radharani expresses Pratijalpa as described by Srila Rup Goswami. Dusatyajya dvandva bhaveshmina praptir narheti anuddattam dut samananena katam yatra sa prajal pakah. When the lover humbly states that although she is unworthy of attaining her beloved, she cannot give up hoping for a conjugal relationship with him. Such words spoken with respect for her beloved's message are called Prati Jalp. From Ujjwal Nilamani 14.198, here Srimati Radharani has given up her harsh feelings and humbly acknowledges the greatness of Sri Krishna. Yeah, in the previous sloks, she is becoming too harsh for Sri Krishna, but now she is acknowledging the greatness of Sri Krishna. Anil?
Apibata madhupurya marya putro tunaste स्मरति स पितृगेहान् सौम्य बन्धुश्च गोपान् क्वचिदपि स कथा नः किङ्करीणां गृणीते भुजं गुरुसुगन्धं मूर्ध्य दास्यत कदा नु. O Uddhav, it is indeed regrettable that Krishna resides in Mathura. Does he remember his father's household affairs and his friends, the cowherd boys? O great soul, does he ever talk about us, his maidservants? When will he lay on our heads his agur-scented hand? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So you're asking, Kwachidapi sa kathana kinkrinam grinite, like, does he remember at all? Does he talk about us? Is what Radharani is saying, yeah. Nisha?
The translation and word meanings for this verse are taken from Srila Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 6.68. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti writes very poetically with deep spiritual insight about the emotions expressed in this and the previous 9 verses. He interprets Radharani's feelings as follows. Srimati Radharani thought, since Krishna was once satisfied in Vraja but left Mathura city, won't he also develop a desire to leave that place and go somewhere else? Mathura is so close to Vrindavan that it is possible he may even come back here. Krishna is the son of respectable gentleman Nanda Maharaj, so he must be staying in Mathura because of his sense of obligation to his father, who authorized his going there. On the other hand, while Nanda's whole life is dedicated exclusively to Krishna, Nand is so innocent that he allowed himself to be tricked by the Yadus, who brought Krishna to Mathura. Krishna must be thinking, alas, alas, since even my father could not bring me back to Vraj, what can I do to return there? Thus, Krishna must be impatient to come back here, and so he has sent a messenger. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anil?
It is only because Nand is so innocent that he allowed his son to leave. If Nand had allowed Krishna's mother, the queen of Braj, to do so, she would have climbed onto a cruel's chariot and, holding her son by the neck, gone off to Mathura with him, followed by all the gopis. But this was not possible. Ever since Krishna left, Nand has been stunned by separation from him, and Nand's treasury rooms, storehouses, kitchens, sleeping quarters, opulent houses, and so on are now vacant, unswept and uncleansed. They are littered with grass, dust, leaves, and cobwebs. Does Krishna ever remember his father's houses? And does he sometimes remember Subal and his other friends who are now lying stunned in other neglected houses? The women in Mathura who now associate with Krishna cannot know how to serve him in the way that pleases him most. When they see he is not satisfied and ask how they can make him happy, does he tell them about us gopis? Krishna must tell them, "You city ladies cannot please me as much as the gopis of Braja. They are most expert in stringing flower garlands, perfuming their bodies with ointments, playing various rhythms and melodies on stringed instruments, dancing and singing in the rasa performance, displaying their beauty, charm, and cleverness, and skillfully playing at the questions and answers. They are especially expert in the pastimes of meeting one's lover and showing jealous anger and other signs of pure love and affection. Surely Krishna must now know this. Therefore, he will probably tell the women of Mathura, "My dear women of the Yadu clan, please go back to your families. I no longer desire to associate with you. In fact, I am going back to Brij early tomorrow morning." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What is being mentioned is Radharani is thinking that since he has left Braj and gone to Mathura, similarly he can also come back to Braj. Yeah, yeah, Nisha.
When will Krishna speak like this and come back here to place his hands, fragrant with aguru, on our heads? Then he will console us, saying, "O beloved of my heart, I swear to you that I will never abandon you again and go elsewhere. Indeed, I have not been able to find anyone in all the three worlds with even a trace of your good qualities." Thus, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti interprets the feelings of Srimati Radharani. The Acharya further explains that the present text displays the speech called Sujalpa, as described by Rupa Goswami. Yatra javata sa gambhiryam sa dainyam sah chapalam sotkantham cha hariha prastha sa sujalpo nigdayate. When out the honest sincerity, a lover questions Sri Hari with gravity, humility, unsteadiness, and eagerness. Such speech is known as Sujalp, Ujjwala Nilamani 14.200. Concluding this section of chapter 47, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that there are 10 divisions of divine madness, Divyonmada, which are expressed by the 10 division of Chitrajalp and variegated speech. Such divine madness is shown in the special pastime of bewilderment, which is itself part of the supreme bliss Mahabhava of Srimati Radharani. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anji?
The Acharya quotes the following verses from Rupa Goswami's Ujjwala Nilamani 14.174, 178 to 80 to explain these ecstasies. Prayo Brandavana Vanase Varyam Mohono Yam Udati Chati Etasya Mohan Akasya Gatim Kam Api Upeyusah Bhuma Bhav Kapi Chitri Divya Mad Itiryate Udguna Chitro Jalpa Diyas Tad Bheda Bahovo Matah Prastasya Suhard Alok Gudha Rasabhi Jirma Bhimatah Puri Bhav Mayo Jalpo Yas तीव्रोत कांति अंतिमुः चित्रो जल्पो दशांगो याम प्रजल्पः प्रोजिजल्पितः विजलपो जल्पस् संजल्पः अवजल्पो भिजल्पितम् अजाल्पः प्रतिजल्पश्च सुजापल चेति कीर्तितः. It is virtually only within the princess of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani, that the ecstasy of bewilderment arises. She has attained to a special stage of this bewilderment, a wonderful state that resembles delusion known as Divyonmada. It has many aspects which come and go unsteadily, and one of these manifestations is Chitrajalp. This talk, induced by her seeing her beloved friend, is filled with covert anger and comprises many different ecstasies. It culminates in her intense anxious eagerness. This Chitrajalpa has 10 divisions known as Prajalpa, Parijalpa, Vijalpa, Ujjalpa, Sanjalpa, Avajalpa, Abhijalpa, Ajalpa, Pratijalpa, and Sujalpa. Finally, some authorities say that Krishna himself, eager to drink the sweetness of his beloved's speech, assumed the form of the messenger bee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so first of all, we saw like the 10 bars in 10 slokas, yeah, which are called Prajalpa, Parijalpa, Vijalpa, Ujalpa, Sanjalpa, Avajalpa, Abhijalpa, Ajalpa, Pratijalpa, and Sujalpa. So those are all different bars which Radharani is expressing, and to that bhavra, right, which she sees. And what is being mentioned here is that finally some authorities say that Krishna himself, eager to drink the sweetness of his beloved speech, assumed the form of the messenger bee. Yeah, because he wanted to hear from Radharani, is what is mentioned. Sri Shukavacha अथो उद्धवो निशम्येवं कृष्ण दर्शन लालसा है शांतयवयन प्रिय संदेशे गोपी हृदोम भाषते. Sukdev Goswami said, having heard this, Uddhav then tried to pacify the gopis who were most eager to see Lord Krishna. He thus began relating to them the message of their beloved. Yeah. So after hearing the gopis, he's talking to Uddhavji is giving message of Lord Shri Krishna. Nisha.
Sri Uddhav Uvaच अहो यूयं स्म पूर्णार्था भवत्यो लोकपूजिताः वासुदेवो भगवती यासामित्यर्पितं मनः. Sri Uddhav said, certainly you gopis are all successful and are universally worshipped because you have dedicated your minds in this way to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudev. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Uddhav is telling gopis, you are all successful in life and are universally worshipped. Yeah. Isma Purnartha and then Bhavatyo Lok Pujita hai. Why? Because Vasudeve Bhagavati. You have dedicated your minds in the bhakti of Vasudev. How ya sammitya arpit mana hai, totally dedicated, totally devoted. You have dedicated your minds to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva. Yeah. So that means your life is the most successful and you will be universally worshipped. Says, although other devotees have certainly surrendered their minds unto the Lord, the gopis are unique in the intensity of their love. Yeah.
दान व्रतत पोह्यम जपस्वाध्याय संयमय श्रेयो भी विविधैश्चान्यैः कृष्णे भक्तिर्हि साध्यते. Devotional service unto Lord Krishna is attained by charity, strict vows, austerities, and fire sacrifices, by japa, study of Vedic texts, observance of regulative principles, and indeed by the performance of many other auspicious practices. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. How the devotional service is performed is mentioned, like you do dan, vrat, tapa, hom, jap, swadhyay, same, yeah, all those things, Krishna bhakti sadhyate. That's how the Krishna bhakti attained. Yeah, Nisha.
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti explains the process described here as follows. Dana, donations given to the Lord Vishnu and his devotees. Vrata, observing vows such as Ekadashi. Tapas, renunciation of sense gratification for Krishna's sake. Homa, fire sacrifices dedicated to Vishnu. Japa, privately chanting the holy name of the Lord. Swadhyaya, study and recitation of Vedic texts such as Gopala Tapani Upanishad. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I think we'll pause here, and I think what we'll read next week is what message Sri Krishna has sent with Uddhavji. Yeah, very beautiful message which Uddhavji is going to explain. Yeah, so I think we'll pause for now, and we are going to hear the Bhramar Geet. So these are 10 shloks we'll hear, and we'll hear I don't know if you know Indresh Ji Maharaj, Indresh Padhya Ji Maharaj. He is son of I think he's son of Mridul Ji Maharaj. I don't know if you have, they're like very, very popular Bhagavad Pravita. Yeah. And Indresh Ji Maharaj also now, see, Pujya Sri Indresh Ji Upadhyay Ji Maharaj, he also visits US actually. So last year he was in Raleigh. Actually, he's also coming to Raleigh again sometimes to do the Bhagavad. When he does Srimad Bhagavatam, and generally, it's supposed to be over at 9 or 10, he goes on for 11, 12, and then everybody is still there. No one leaves the place. That's how much good he is. So we'll hear the Bhramar Geet in his voice. It's around 10 minutes. Or let me share it actually. Yeah, Bhramar Geet with Pujya Sri Indresh Upadhyay Ji Maharaj.
मधुपकी तव बन्धो मास्पृशाङ्घ्रिं सपत्न्या कुचविलुलितमाला कुङ्कुमश्मश्रुभिर्नः वहतु मधुपतिस्तम् मानिनीनां प्रसादम् यदु सदसि विडम्ब्यम् यस्य दूतस्त्वमिद्रे मधुपकी तव बन्धो स्रकितधर सुधां स्वां मोहिनीं पायित्वा सुमनस एव सद्य तत्यजेस्मान् भवाद्रे विचरति कथं पादपद्मं तु पद्मा यपिबत हितचेता उत्तम श्लोक जल्पै मधुपकी तव बंधो बहुषढङ्ग्रे गायसि त्वं यदूना अधिपतिमगृहाणा अग्रतो न पुराणम् विजयसख सखीना गीयतां तत्प्रसङ्गः क्षपितकुचरुजस्ते कल्पयन्ति स्तमिष्टाः मधुपकी तव बंधो भुवि चरसायां का स्त्रियस्तदुरापा कपटरुचिर्हास भ्रूविजृम्भस्यास्युः चरणरज उपास्ते यस्य भूते वयं का अपि च कृपणपक्षे युत्तमश्लोकशब्दः मधुपकी तव बंधो विसृज शिरसि पादं वेद्म्यहं चाटुकारे अनुनय विदुषस्ते भेत्य दौतैर्मुकुन्दा स्वकृत इह विशिष्टा पत्यपत्यन्यलोका व्यसृजद कृतचेता किं नु सन्धेयमस्मिन् मधुपकी तव बंधो मृगयुरिव कपीन्द्रम् विव्यधेलुब्धधर्मा त्रियमकृतविरूपा स्त्रीजितः कामयाना बलिमपि बलिमत्वा वेष्टयद्भांशवद्यः तदलमसितसख्यैर्दुस्त्यजस्तत्कथार्थः मधुपकी तव बंधो यदनुचरितलीला कर्णपीयूषविप्लुट सकृददनविधूता द्वन्द्वधर्मा विनष्टाः सपदि गृहकुटुम्बम् दीनमुत्सृज्य दीना बहव इह विहंगा भिक्षुचर्यां चरन्ति मधुपकी तव बंधो वयमृतमिव जिह्वा व्याहितं सद्यधाना कुलिकरुतमिवाज्ञा कृष्णबद्धो हरिण्यः ददृशुर्सकृदेता तन्नखस्पर्शतीव्र स्मररुज उपमन्तिम् भण्यतामन्यवार्ता मधुपकी तव बंधो सख पुनरागा प्रेयसा प्रेषितः किम् वरय किमनुरुन्धे मानिनीयोषि मेङ्ग नयसि कथमिहास्मान् दुस्त्यजद्वन्द्वपार्श्वम् सततमुरसि सौम्य श्रीर्वधूसाकमास्ते मधुपकी तव बंधो पिबत मधुपुर्या आर्यपुत्रोऽधुनास्ते स्मरति स पितृगेहा सौम्यबन्धुंश गोपा क्वचिदपि स कथानः किङ्करीणां गृणीते भुजमगुरुसुगन्धं मूर्धन्यधास्यत् कदानु मधुपकी तव बंधो
बोलो श्री राधा रानी की जय।
जय
हरे कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
जय।
So we heard the whole Bhramar Geet. Pretty nice. Different sons and Kathavachak have sung in different modes. It's nice to hear. Enjoy the long weekend. And I will see you back on Monday.
Okay. Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.